Hey everybody, Queen D. Michelle here. Welcome to Moving Inward and Onward. This week, I'm talking to those who have or are considering moving onward as it relates to traveling with your pet. Because I just did that. I just traveled with Quincy. So I want to tell you about my experience. Okay? Let's start with paperwork. Okay, so there's 3 very important items that you're going to need in order to leave Mexico. And if you're going to the United States, you're going to have these 3 items in order to enter. And they are, first of all, a health certificate for your dog. And you know what? Those are, it's a lot more extensive than I thought. It's a lot of information that the doctor the vet has to fill out on that health certificate. Matter of fact, I dropped off his shot record and everything and picked it up a couple of days later. It's extensive work that they have to fill in. So a health certificate, number 1. Number 2 is the shot record, okay? In Mexico, it's a passport. If you're leaving out the country, you need that shot record, okay? And all shots, of course, have to be up to date. And then the 3rd is an airline acclimation certificate. Another piece of information that's rather extensive, I think, in filling out. Because they want to know where are you going, with this pet in the United States. So that those 3 are what you need. And you're gonna have to get that from your vet. Okay? Again, health certificate, shot record, airline acclimation certificate. Let's talk costs. Okay, so the health certificate that I got from my doctor was 600 pesos, which is $30 US, is what it costs for health certificate on the Mexican side. And again, like I said, it's pretty extensive. They have to have all their I's dotted and their T's crossed, and it takes a minute to make sure that health certificate is on point. So I understand $30. I'm not even fussing about that. COVID tests. Now, I took my COVID tests lakeside instead of at the airport, because you can either do it lakeside or you can do it at the airport. Now, lakeside, it's 900 pesos, which is like $45. But it was the convenience of not, because I had my pet with me, I had Quincy with me, of not doing it at the airport where it's only $20, 450 pesos, I think, something like that, at the airport. So, and then going there and then having to cross over, so health certificate was $30, my COVID test was $45. And then I flew Delta, which I thought going into the States, going into Atlanta, and I thought, and it says on their website that it's $125, for your pet ticket. But when I got to the counter, it was actually $200. And I said, well, your website says $125. She said, yeah, well, that's for domestic. They don't mention international. So I'm like, sure, okay. So $200 was Quincy ticket leaving out of Mexico on Delta, okay? I spent a wonderful month in the ATL. I had a good time, did not want for anything, did not deny myself anything, as you can see. So let's talk about returning. Coming back into Mexico, you do not, I repeat, do not need a health certificate. But what you do need is that shot record. You have it with you anyway, right? So you show them the shot record. They're really just checking for rabies, and they're checking that, make sure that, you know, the shot record is on point. Side note, we got to the airport that morning, and I was so proud of myself. I had everything together, right? Ticket, okay, and Quincy's ticket, okay, and your shot record, and shot record, yeah, shot. Where's that shot? I remember, where did I put? Long story short, my son had to zip back to the house, fly back, and then fly back to the airport because I had left his shot record in the desk drawer back. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so all they want to see is the shot record. I flew United coming back, and it was 125, point blank period, for Quincy's ticket. United Airlines was a little more cramped than Delta was. And I want to suggest at this time that if you can't afford it, you know, try to get that Comfort Plus or that onesie, pay for a seat with some leg room, because you're going to need it with that thing. Man, as you know, it was costing me left and right with things, so I got economy coming back with United, and ooh, it was tight. So just keep that in mind. Go ahead and pay for that seat with that extra room. You're going to need it. And I can show you, this is the carrier my friend, thank you, Nana, loaned this roller to me. And boy, was it a life saver for me, because I had my carry-on, I had my bag, and I had Quincy, and if I had to carry him instead of roll him. So if you could look into getting a roller, they out there, check Amazon, must be, because my friend loaned me hers. And a week before we were to leave, I started getting him used to it, comfortable. First I set it down, you know, put one of his toys in and let him sniff around it. And then I put him in it and rolled him around the place for a minute. And then another time I put him in it and rolled him up and down the street, just to let him know, hey, you're going to be in this thing, okay? And so that worked out well. If you get a roller, make sure to do that. So that is, it was easy peasy, besides for that hiccup with the for getting the shot record coming back into Mexico. Okay, so now I'm back in Mexico, and let's talk about arriving back with your pet. Okay, so you go through customs, and you pick up your luggage. No, you go through immigration, not customs yet. You go through immigration first. You know, you give them your visa thingy, and then you go get your luggage. After you get your luggage, before you go to customs, there's an agriculture office over there where they are to inspect your pet and check, look at the shot record, you know, inspect your pet. And then they'll give you a copy, and then a copy to give to customs. So because you got to go through customs with that piece of paper. Okay, so you go through immigration, pick up your luggage, go over to the agriculture, which is on the right side, and they'll do the paperwork. You know, he didn't even look at Quincy. He was more concerned with getting that paperwork situated. You know, as you can see, Quincy was tired, just sitting there, kind of, I'm just so done and ready to be home. So, yeah, make sure that you go there. Oh, and make sure you get your ticket. Make sure you arrive in the afternoon, in the daytime, when that office open. Because my first ticket that I bought coming home, because it was kind of cheap, I was getting in at 10 o'clock. And then my son said, won't the office, the agriculture office, be closed? I said, oh yeah. And I would have had to wait until they opened up just to get that paperwork to go through customs. So make sure that you book a flight that gets you in the afternoon so they can give you the paperwork. Because I'm telling you, he wasn't even studying Quincy. And so anyway, I got the paperwork and went through, got a green light. We're home. Now, just a couple of miscellaneous things. Bathroom. Mexico has a little corner. They got a little corner with a little piece of fake grass for them to. Quincy was not interested, in that little corner. Didn't think to take a picture of it, but that's what's happening in Mexico. I never got a chance to see Atlanta's coming back, and I heard it was really nice, but that whole thing with the shot record. And then Houston, they had a room where you can go and they had a little grass in there, little grass here. He wasn't interested in that either. I tried to get him to go. He wouldn't. Then I actually was walking him outside his thing, and no one knew. It looked like he was about to squat, and I just started pulling. I was like, no. Craziness. Traveling with a pet is quite adventurous. There's also on that way back, excuse me, I gave him some stress chews for just kind of relaxing him, coming back. And they worked. As you can see, when he was waiting for the paperwork, he was just like, he was feeling pretty good at that point, just ready to be home. So anyway, this is my experience of traveling with Quincy, and I won't do it again until next year. When we take our state trip. Now I know what I know, and hopefully this has helped you out as well. I'll see you next week when we'll be talking about moving inward. Okay? And as always, one light, one love. See you next week.